Okay. Option. Master volume. I gotta. It doesn't do. Anyway. Um. I forgot something. Like legit. I forgot to. Oh. Okay. Now. Oh wow. That's not terrible. It's gonna be in the background times. Anyway. I have a feeling that like this is gonna be the sort of thing I want to vibe in. I mean, I miss speedrunning, but I just don't have motivation right. Fucking it. I barely have the motivation. And not. I really feel like I want to go back to doing it. Or I don't. Friends out. Like basically is hanging out. Come in and be my new friend. Right ahead. I mean, realistically, what's gonna go on? Realistically, like nothing. Nothing realistic, right? Like I'm never gonna get to be Markiplier level for that opportunity to pass. Like I should just what I wanted. And AI deciding in Powerwash starting over because I have a new computer. I really didn't feel like testing if they have cloud saves on Steam. Downloaded Xbox. I didn't have Steam open. Well, actually, I had Steam open, but I have my list set to installed only right now on my Steam. So, like, yo, it is what it is. Harper Shaw, Home Garage. Great news! Finally found a van for you at the actions under the budget. Don't freak out when you see it. It looks like it's just been dredged from the bottom of the lake, but that's a good thing. It meant no one else bid on it. They messed out. Underneath that hideous layer of gunk is your perfect workhorse. Engines dream, no rust. There's even equipment in the back. Just need good hosing down and you're in business. Wait, what? What? Why was there equipment in the back? Why was there equipment in the back? I don't know. This is scary. You'll certainly earn your pressure washing stripes after getting this thing. Game is a philosophical nightmare. The lore is deep. Very deep. Yes, baby. That is what I've been waiting. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is so good. Oh, fuck yes. Goddamn orgasm. Yes, I'm power washing and stimulating. Oh, I miss this fucking game. Playing it to get through the game. To speedrun the lore. Because of the deep lore of this game. And now I can finally enjoy it. Oh, to its full potential. Powerwash. Give me that fucking goodness of power washing the shit out of this car. Yeah, give me those little tiny, minuscule fucking things. Here's the lore. Move van outside my neighbor's place. I'm finally going. Whoever moves in there is gonna be quality power washer. Yeah! Get me the fucking deep lore and story of power washing. Lord, spotless. Lord, spotless. No window too, motherfucker. Yeah. Keeping track of chat, talk about whatever. I didn't enjoy the game. Where are you? That's for the grill. There we go. That's done. Nice. Easy. Now I'm just gonna go full on fucking OC. You don't even know. The enjoyment of this game. And now I'm fucked. So like, think, wrote that business name, or do you need me to think some up? I'm phenomenal. I thought it up. I thought it was routing Thomas from Tyler. She never looked back. I'm collecting Bonnie Tyler might have been better. God fucking damn it! The total eclipse of the tiles, motherfucker! Oh, this game is great. I don't know if there's ever been a more perfect game to play while hot. Or play in general. Because Powerwash is... It's the perfect fucking game. For any, like, time. Any time. It's perfect game. 10 out of 10. Now that it's at 100%, like, now that it's out of early access, Powerwash Simulator is my fucking game of the year. There's no other game. Unless like fucking... No, it's just, there's nothing. There's nothing I could play that... I forgot that I was that close to being done. And use 100 over from what you gave me. That should help get you off the ground. Also met my new neighbor over the fence. Crumbling my dirty yard. Da 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 da. So the lore, right? So far in this game, the lore says that we're starting up our power washing business, right? And we found the van with equipment in it at an auction. The auction probably pulled it from the lake. So that's the backstory. And now the backstory for why this first place is dirty is that it's your friend who went to the auction and bought the van. It's there neighbor's backyard, and it's their new neighbor, as in the person just moved in, right? So like, this person moved in within like 2 days later. Or a week later or something. But this is the way that the house was left by the previous owner. Hey Doc, I hope you like a challenge, because I'm pretty sure I got the dirtiest backyard you ever seen. Not me bragging, by the way, I had nothing to do with it. I've just moved back to town for a bit to help my folks, who are both down to their last knee, and rented what I thought was a great little place. Should have questioned why there weren't any garden pics in the ad. They must have been bred rhinoceroses here. Rhinos in here or something. Anyway, my girls are itching to get out there, so I don't want them still itching when they get back inside. So please do your thing. Thanks a lot, Cal. So this man Calvin Miller has moved in next to your friend. Harper. So Harper's the neighbor of Calvin, and Calvin just moved in. And Calvin has some kids, and yeah, it's kids. Very likely kids. Because he's talking about coming back to take care of their parent. Or is so deep. And the lore of the game is like fucking Twin Peaks-esque. Like, it's not... It's somewhat realistic, I guess is what I'd say. Like, you got the workings of a town and like all that shit. I don't know. Finally enough, my first girlfriend, Florian. Friends used to live here back in the day. Those were days. Oh wait, there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to like read those at the end of the beginning and end of it. Like, holy shit, lore is so deep in this game. I don't want to switch the nozzle though. This is the best nozzle. Like, majority of things. Oh. It's the whole thing counted as. It's not like, okay. See, I don't know. Squirt it off. Squirt it all off with powerful jet. Yeah. Oh, this is satisfying. This is a game of fucking eternity! Oh! Oh! Yes! I will only play Powerwash from now on. Oh, yes! Oh, this is the best thing ever. Okay, panel, pop, close, not close. Top, panel, close, gate. Okay. Oh! That is where it be. Look at that. Oh, this is satisfying. Now. So, like, I'm probably gonna have to go through this later and record the audio or something, because it's probably gonna go with the Colossal Immersion. Like, if you don't know what I'm doing, like, basically I'm taking and recording stories of, like, what I believe, my philosophies on life, shit like that, and, like, recording it off of stream or, like, getting high as fuck and writing shit down, like, and so I'm writing this shit down, and I'm gonna get a book eventually, a book's worth of, like, stoner thoughts, and then that, basically from there I could just make this stoner thought book and just, you know, make it nice. So yesterday after work, I didn't take anything before work. Like, I didn't take a gummy or anything before work. My hands on my brain, right? So okay, I need to turn down the game. Thank you for letting me know. No one had let me know. See, this is why it's a good thing that I'm explaining, you know, the thing. Yeah, I'll explain it again. I don't know. Master volume. Down. Main menu. Career mode. Yeah. Alright. And I can change it on my end to make the volume back up. Had I known how low the volume was on the TV, I would have realized that it was exceptionally loud, the power washing. But, like, I wasn't paying attention. Like, how's the levels on that now? Is that about right then? Okay. So, where was I? Well, for one, I was saying that this game has some deep lore. And I'll have to, like, go over the deep lore at the end of this level. This is only the second level. I will, like, have to... something. I'll have to go back over this and see what it was. But Like, no. This is probably gonna have to be stuff that's recorded too. Fucking D4 Powerwash. Because you know what? My fucking book. So if I want to, like, edit through that and find, whatever the fuck. That's something that I'm wondering. Has any streamer or YouTuber ever recorded the entire process of them making, like, a memoir or book? What last mission? Because it recently got the 1.0 update. But yeah, like, I'm probably going to go back and, like, review this. Okay, so that was the last episode. That was the last one. That does suck. But no, this is the perfect game to stream and do my philosophy memoir. Right? Like, this kind of, not just Powerwash Simulator, but like games like it. And I can either record other games I play for YouTube or, just play them off stream. I don't have to stream everything. And I don't have to stream, like... I'm only gonna be streaming, like... after work. And on Saturdays. So, like... some days I'll only be able to stream for, like, an hour. Which means that... it's not a bad idea. Like Steve said earlier that, because I told him on Discord about how yesterday I was gonna stream but then I didn't because I was using my phone and like the voice function on my phone to type into a Google Doc shit I was, thinking while high. Because I still hadn't committed to the idea of streaming this. But I mean, who's gonna fucking see it anyway, right? Like, I only stream to my friends. Who's gonna fucking report me? For, admitting to being high as fuck. It's legal where I'm at. Who cares? Nobody's ever gonna watch me right now because I'm a nobody. I don't have a brand. I don't have like consistent followers or anything. It's just, I don't understand what my wife thinks when I stream. Like, which is why I have to stream when she's not home. Because she worries about what I say on stream. Because, oh my god, it's out there on the internet. Anyone can, like, find it. Well, yeah, so can the fucking FBI. Like, if they're still keeping tabs on me, which they shouldn't. There ain't no danger to me. Unless my radical thinking's gonna, like, inspire the next generation to all be a bunch of fucking stoner philosophers. Don't foresee anything I fucking do as dangerous. If I'm dangerous, then thinking is dangerous, and you don't want to say that out loud. As a government or otherwise. Kind of give the game away. Lunch! Also, I got the Cloudbot on. It doesn't have everything, but it's got some things. It doesn't have the sound effects, which is good because fuck you, legal updated. But yeah, since I'm gonna have to like go through and edit it at the end anyway, I mean, why can't I just be stoned as fuck, play shit like, you know, Powerwash, and then like talk, wax philosophically and shit. Divulge unto the universe what I am, and who I am, and how I am. And right now, I am high. And that is not a bad thing. People have gotten high for generations. Like, humanity has always been on the balance between survival, doing what we need to do to survive, and getting high as fuck. Like, people don't realize that 100 years ago, before factories in the Industrial Revolution, like, people didn't work this hard. Humanity did not work this fucking hard a couple generations ago. Because most of them were very agrarian. And like, you don't understand, like, you take care of animals and you plant crops and you have all this fucking time. And Ranch Sim, like, it basically explains it. Like, if everyone had the ability to live in a communal farming environment, outside of the cities, where, like, see, that's also the things, like, not everybody wants to be a farmer, and not everybody wants to be, you know, a person who works at a fucking grocery store. But, like, everybody's got to do something, right? All jobs are necessary. Because if we don't have grocery stores and people working at them, we don't get fed. Because we don't feed ourselves anymore. So, like, the value of the work is greater than, you know, we have enough to feed people. We have enough land to, you know, farm and shit. Like, we should make it where everybody just fucking does what they want to do. Like, does what speaks to them when they're fucking adults. You know? We shouldn't have to work fucking whatever job just to survive. We should be provided for as a society. Since we no longer can provide for ourselves like we used to. I mean, that's part of why everything's inflated, right? Because people aren't taking care of each other anymore. Like, you used to be able to... When we were agrarian, you used to be able to survive, right? Like, a couple hundred years ago, natives lived here in this country. Many tribes, millions, right? Like, and they survived and thrived without, you know, having to be completely whatever, man. Like, no? God, I forgot where I was going. But, like, what I mean is, I'm doing something incredibly personal. Because, like, this philosophy memoir is, like, technically available for anyone to see, but because I have relative anonymity, like, nobody's gonna give 3 flying fucks. Like, nobody's gonna care. I'm basically dialoguing my process of, writing this philosophy memoir, doing it live, and I'm editing. That way, even though I'm not ever gonna get, like, fucking Markiplier money or whatever, I'm gonna be in a place, where I can fucking just chill and vibe, I can philosophize about life, take, do it while, stoned off my ass, as previous generations of philosopher would. Right, where in the fuck is the wall that... Where the fuck is the parts on the roof that still need to be done? There we go. I needed that satisfaction, damn it. Ding! I was trying to get it. But, like... And that way I can dedicate time to doing my philosophy memoir, right? Because I'll be streaming chill vibe shit like this. Because I only have, like, a couple hours a week. stream, and then I'll also be streaming Pokemon, right? Like when I do Pokemon. And so like this new schedule is gonna be, it's Weed Devil Church. It's the Philosophy Memoir. It's Powerwash Simulator. It's all at once. Like, and then I've gotta fucking. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna upload all of these to YouTube as private, and then go through them. While they're uploaded to YouTube. And just go through it. You know, just write down what I said using my phone and Google, Google Docs. And like, I gotta see if that works. And then if that works, then we can just do this for the foreseeable future. Until I have my, enough material for my philosophy memoir. And then, like, I can start editing that shit. And then fucking publish it. Because it's not just the philosophy memoir. It's also, like, yesterday's rant discussion with myself while recording it was about what I believe. Like, if you look at the tags on fucking, like, okay, it's whole fucking trellis. Oh, it's the whole fucking trellis. It's the other side too. It's like, okay, but no, like, I've wanted to do this book, this philosophy memoir, for a long time. But I didn't know how to do it without, possibly offending everyone. And then I realized, you know what? I'll get it out raw and unedited. On stream. And then I'll fucking edit it from there. Like... Post is done. Okay. But yeah, like... Because some of it's going to be philosophical. Some of it's going to be religious. Like... What I wrote yesterday. Because... in the end, I want this philosophy memoir to have the ability to be like, when people ask me, what do I believe? And like, then I can point to that. Because I'm a very spiritual person. But I've struggled to find where I fit in with any doctrine. And I've been searching for, a community for fucking ever to see if, like, there's anyone else who believes that I do. To see if, what it is that I believe is, you know, widely enough believed by people who are, you know, just, I don't know. I've always felt like religion's been a problem. But it's necessary for human beings. You know what I mean? Like, human beings are scared as fuck. Right? Like, because we all know that we're mortal and we die. And that is a scary thought. And humanity as a species needs a religion that does not judge. That is the opposite of the zealotry that has infested every religion. Because religions exist for one reason. They exist so that we can feel better about what happens when we die. That is literally the only, like, thing. And it's not just about, you know, religion as religion. Like, atheism is a religion. People cling hard to their belief that there is nothing. And I'm agnostic. I'm an agnostic deist. And, like, I believe that I don't know what's right. I don't have enough information to say what happens or not. But I believe in something. And see, that's the thing, is like, we need to get to a point where people get away from the labels that have been put on these stories, these mythologies that we have been fucking given over the last 200 fucking years. Well, 2,000 fucking years. More than 2,000 years. The major religions of the world are all based off of the same mythologies. They're all Abrahamic. And they were inspired by this is its own thing. They were all inspired by, like, the Egyptians and the Babylonians and the ones before that. And then the natives have their own beliefs. But the majority of people in all of history, majority of religions involve the deity. Now, like, what those deities are, or their stories, they're all personal to the cultures that they were from, right? Like, I hate to say it this way, but Christianity is incredibly Christianity, Judaism, and Islam are the Abrahamic religions. They're all incredibly agrarian. And in the end, the agrarian older religion, well, it's not even older, but this agrarian religion that, has descended from a previous religion. And not everybody, has been told that. Like, we need to teach children when they're young that, this is what I believe. But you don't have to believe what I believe. Right? Like, I don't care what my wife wants to do with our children. If she wants to raise them in a church or whatever, like, I will begrudgingly go and do the, holidays and, concerts and whatnot. I'll do that. I will do that, not because I believe, but because I believe in the social need for my child to have an upbringing and, have some sort of socialization outside of the home. And so, if my wife is having her own crisis of faith because she believes in the overall theme of Christianity, and she's a history teacher, so she knows the history of where the religions came from. She's just trying to figure out which, like, denomination is most like what she believes in. And her moral problem is that it would upset her parents if she were to no longer be Lutheran. And so I have, as part of my reassurance to my wife, that she should explore these things and, her, faith and, find out what she believes. That okay, bills are included in the whole of the car? Alright. But no, like, she needs someone to help her feel like she's not, going to go to hell for, trying to decide which of, which of the denominations she most aligns with. And that's wrong. I mean, it's so judgmental. And I feel like someone needs to make it okay to question your faith. Because previous generations questioned their faith. It's how we got Lutheranism in the first fucking place. Humanity has questioned what is the truth about, you know, the universe forever. And, you know, we're always adding new information. So believing that we're right, like, die hard believing that we're right in any one thing is just, it's wrong. Right? Like, there's no reason why we should be fighting over religion. Ever. Because in the end, have you died? Have you gone to heaven? Do you know? Do you know it's there? No, you believe in the story from other people or your Bible, which is a book that I have read as well. And I've also read many other religions. Like, who's to say what comes after? We don't know. But we need to have faith in some idea of what we know. Right? Like, and there's no religion for agnostic deism. There's not. And that's really fucking stupid. Because theoretically, it is the largest religion in the universe. Because if there are other, you know, other, you know, species out there that have their own beliefs about, you know, any afterlife or, you know, the true nature of the universe and stuff like that. Like, that's what philosophy is, right? Philosophy is religion, in a way. And so, like, I don't have a word, and I don't want to label what my philosophy is. So, essentially, my philosophy is, you know, preaching that agnostic deism is the way to a better future as a, you know, species. It's not even about erasing other religions. Believe whatever you want to believe in, but don't judge or guilt people for believing otherwise. Because none of us know. None of us truly scientifically know that, you know, we don't truly scientifically know what happens after death to our consciousness. Science can barely understand what consciousness is. And isn't that, you know, what religion is philosophy is the study of consciousness and the nature of the universe. It's what I've, come to learn as someone who has read every religious text that I could frickin' get my hands on. I mean, I guess you could consider me a mythologist, mythological scholar. I don't know. I mean, I never went formally to school for it, right? But, like, that's another thing, is, schools and degrees used to... Capitalism's ruined everything. Because there used to be a way for people to, advance their consciousness and, gain new skills. There used to be ways to do that without spending money, right? Like, we used to have trades and, artisans and blacksmiths. And because it was a job, right? It was a job, and so it was necessary for society. And so you would be provided for. And you would get your job, right? Like, even though you... Okay, so, like, now, these days, we are in a system where where scarcity is no longer really a problem for housing or, fucking food, or, for the most part, fucking... What am I trying to say? Hey, Desi. I am Sprigatito and speaking. No, capitalism fucking ruined everything, because now it costs money to learn trades. Like, back in the day, how did doctors learn how to doctor? Fucking went and fucking did it, right? Like, you'd fucking go to a goddamn doctor's academy and, like, fucking work on people under the tutelage of somebody else. And, like, sure, back then it was classist. It was based on, like, what class you were born into. But, like, we don't need classes anymore. We are past that. We are past the need for people to be better than others. And it's not, like, a thing that I'm fucking saying just because I'm stoned. Like, I say it when I'm not stoned. It's what I fucking believe. Right? Like, I believe that people should fucking be equal. That if it doesn't fucking hurt you, and it's not, like, scientifically proven to have been fucking destroying society, you know what? Whatever. Not everybody wants to fucking smoke meth. And there are people who have tried it and have not ever done it again. Part of why we wind up with addicts is because we fucking demonize this shit, right? Like, we make it not available and we demonize it. We demonize substances that human beings have fucking used for goddamn ever because Christianity has taken over the fucking world. And it's because they don't want to believe that they're wrong. And like that's why I'm not a Christian anymore. That's why Christianity is fucking dying. Like, because of the judgmental bullshit. You know? It's like I feel bad for my wife because she badly wants to have a, you know, denomination of Christianity to like belong to, but there's none that like are the one that she belongs to, that like hasn't become so politically motivated, right? Like every church has become so politically motivated on one side or another. Like, and it varies by church, right? Like, and for where you're at, like, you've got your evangelicals who will be, you know, 110% fucking just, you know, alt-right fucking far-right wing bullshit. And then you've got various, you know, degrees of, you know, accepting to, you know, evangelical in every, you know, denomination for churches in your area. And like, it's so stupid that Christianity has become taken over by this small sect. But like, I don't believe in, you know, the sect that my wife does. Because I'm agnostic, but I'm also a deist. So like, how do I help, you know, create a new subdivision of Christianity, or, you know, or of religion in general, for people who are in that conundrum, who are trying to figure out what they believe and want to have there be a church and have it be okay to question. You know? Like, and that's why I feel that there needs to be a name for agnostic deism, right? Like, because that's what most people in the world believe. They believe in some sort of deity because you have your pagans and you have your Native Americans and, you know, Mexican Americans and Mexicans and Colombians. People from every different country have their own, like, individual version of, you know, the various religions, right? So, like, it's just, why do we have to say that everyone else is wrong about it, right? Like, why do we have to be so zealous to say that, you know, the person who don't believe as we do are going to hell? I mean, do we even know if there is a hell? No, that is your belief. And you shouldn't be judging people based on your belief. You should be judging people on facts. Right? Like, pedophiles are bad. You know why they are bad? Because consent. You cannot consent before a certain legal age because your brain is not functional. Right? And scientifically, we know that now. Like, right? We know that, 50 years ago, we started getting rid of child marriage because we realized that children were not mature enough to get married and live on their own. Because child marriage existed in a time when it was before capitalism, right? Capitalism has ruined everything because it has made it, wrong to not have your own house. It has made it wrong to not live communally. Like, and the reason why is because all of a sudden we have to be super, you know, we have to be super private. Like, right? But see, back in the day, whole families fucking lived together and shared a bed, and motherfucking people still were being born. Like, not this Puritan fucking American bullshit from the evangelical side of Christianity has ruined society. And it's infiltrated because it's so deeply tied to the origins of the United States. It's so deeply tied to it that it's terrible. It's fucked the world. And we need to go to a better future for all of humanity. And the only way to do that is to realize how many problems religion is causing. And how we need to find a way to remind people that they could be wrong. And then also give them my alternative, which is agnostic deism. Or they could have a religious experience of their own. But part of my religion is that I have gotten, like, religious leaders in the past, right? They have gotten to the point of being high enough to see God. Whether they used meditation and fasting, or whether they used substances that are psychedelic, it is all valid. Natives and a lot of your other mythologies outside of the Abrahamic one, that we used psychoactive substance to see God. And then somebody eventually decided to write the shit down. But before it was written down, it was just people high off their ass seeing God. And I believe that everyone should get one opportunity, at least in their lifetime, to get so high that they see God. Or see, or be one with the universe. Because in the end, that is how religions were created in the first place, right? I mean, people forget about the history of the religion. And we need to teach that in the religion itself, right? Because if you don't teach the history, and if you don't read the damn thing, like, I've gone to church a lot in my life, right? And a church is just a place where one person is standing up there giving a sermon about this book they fucking read. And then interpreting it to I don't know, some fucking story that they're trying to do. Basically, if you ever have gone to church, you know that it's literally somebody up there fucking interpreting the word of God for you. And I believe that we don't need someone to interpret the word of God for us. Because we can see God. We can connect with the universe ourselves. We don't need someone else to do it for us. And we're at a point in society where, going forward, we're gonna have more time. Right? We're going to have more time to do anything. Like, we're going to have time to do it because once we get past capitalism, everything's going to change. Capitalism is dying. We are getting to post scarcity. We need to eat the fucking rich, realize that money is a human invention, and that because of capitalism, it has lost its original purpose. Because before capitalism, before capitalism in the United States of America, Native Americans prospered. They had cities. Exactly, and that is perfectly fine, Bewitched. Like, that's fine. Because in the end, what is religion but our coping with the fact that we are mortal? And we know that we are mortal because we have seen other people die, and we know we're not gods. And then we can get high enough to, you know, see and be one with the universe. We're at the edge of a technological revolution where humanity can finally, go to Plato's vision of a society ruled by philosophers and scientists, where religion is personal again. Because it's become impersonal now. That is the big problem with religion and why people are leaving the various faiths in droves in our generation. Churches are going away because more and more people are realizing that closed-mindedness and once you're exposed to things, once you read things, once you start thinking for yourself, you realize that there's a better way. Right? Like, the way we run society and the world, there's a better way. And I think the founding fathers of the United States, as racist and bigoted as they were, they chose their words very carefully in how they were writing the Constitution and how they wanted to do a constitutional convention every 20 years to redraft it. Because at the time that they wrote it, most of the people who wrote the fucking Constitution were 20-year-old rich slave owners who had read Aristotle and read fucking philosophy. And they knew they were wrong. They knew that they were not right. And we need a rebirth of enlightenment. We need a new enlightenment. Because It's not just about America, right? What else happened at the same fucking time that America was founded? The French fucking Revolution. Like, modern democracy, modern political way of running the world started 300 years ago through the Enlightenment, through philosophy and philosophers and people questioning religion. Like, we need to realize that our country was not founded by Christians. It was founded by agnostic deists who were high as fuck and read philosophy. And a lot of the shit that they wrote down that wasn't the philosophical parts was just the status quo. And which is why they wanted to change it. They wanted to keep having it be rewritten. Because they knew that even in their own lifetime, in the 20 years or so that they were alive, drastic changes happened. We failed. We failed to follow that example of revolution and making the current government fit the people whom is the next generation. We need to realize that soon the boomers will be dead. And where's all their money going to go? All this wealth and inequality that they have created, where is it going to go? Unless they just, give it all to fucking charity, eventually all of the money is going to trickle down to the people who have had their new enlightenment. Or at least it will trickle down to enough of us to where we can try and fucking change the world. And soon enough, we're not even going to need money anyway. Right? Like, the only reason why we have money is because we need to trade for things we need. But if we go back to the old way, making education free, taking care of people for free, I had a great grandmother who only died a few years ago. I know that insurance companies are new. I know health insurance is new. Because we didn't have a society of doctors. We didn't have doctors, right? Until recently. Like, we didn't have enough of them anyway. And that's why life expectancy was so low. But doctors would also take payment in other things than money. Because as long as they had a house and were provided for, and had enough way to get the supplies they needed. The doctors, you know, the rural ones, they weren't doctors, they weren't licensed. They were somebody who cared enough to go out to the rural parts of the world, and they were provided for. Because a rich person wanted to go out west and take that land and try and look for gold and whatever. So as little as 100 years ago, as we were moving west, doctors took payment in food. Doctors took payment in, whatever anyone could scrap up. Because times were hard. And we were in the Great Depression. And people fucking took care of each other. Was there still racism and shit? Yes. Was there still inequality and shit? Yes. But as far as knowing that the Great Depression proved that we don't need money. Did humanity die out? No. If we take care of each other, we can survive. And thrive as a society. As a species. We can fix the fucking problems of the world. If we would just get out of our own fucking way, right? Leave the choices of, what to do with the world as far as where to go technologically to the fucking scientists. Let the scientists innovate. Don't block them from, trying to do new shit. Capitalism is the problem. And it's not that old. It's only like 150 years old. It's only as old as the Industrial Revolution. But during the Great Depression, we saw that we didn't need it anymore. But when we got to the other side, that generation was fucking greedy. So we need to have another revolution. But it doesn't have to be violent. It doesn't have to be anything but, the evolution of our fucking species. What we've been doing for the last goddamn, thousands of years. Except every time we made advancements before, there was backlash. And it was violent. But it doesn't have to be. We're better than that. We've always been better than that. We just chose. And we can make a different choice this time. I mean, the other option on my fucking shirt. And there are people who believe that way too. But I believe that if people realize and change the world to match, that we could have a better future. But the other option is French Revolution. And the French Revolution happened because of us. The French Revolution happened because France aided the United States of America, like, to get free from England. Exactly. And we have enough for that. Like, that's the thing. We have enough where everyone can live and have someone to love, and those who want to work can work. We don't need everyone to have a job anymore. We've been replaced by automation. We don't need everyone to work. Which means everyone should just be able to get what they need to live, have somewhere to live. And jobs should be, you know, based on what you want to do. And they should pay you enough to live. But Steve, just do it. Who cares if Bruce drives you crazy? Just fucking do it. Like, I would be back and doing DDP yoga, but that's for after, you know, I get this done. This has been something I've wanted to get done for ages. Like, you have no idea. But no, like, we could be doing so much better as a society. It is sad. Now we're going to talk about the deep lore. Oh wait, I was going to start from the beginning. Ah! Alright. Aside from the deep lore of the game, I will probably do at the end of every fucking level. So, you get this van from your friend Harper Shaw. And so they, like, were saying that they got it at an auction. And there was a bunch of equipment still in there. So, like, yeah. You gave them a certain amount of money to go buy the van, and they had 100 left over, so they gave you it back after you cleaned the van. And, like, Yeah, like man's clean. Or now the power washer. And his new neighbor is the one that he go to. So and they wanted to have their place clean for them and their kids because they just moved in. Extraordinary Dr. Powerwash, details from friend Harper. I could really do with a hand in my place when you're free, funnily enough. First girlfriend, Florian Perez, used to live here back in the day. Those were good times. Florian and I would climb up and down the rock garden all day, pretending we were on Rumbling Mountain. Rushless Pond was the crater. So, this town is. He's come back to town to take care of his his parents, and he brought his kids and wife to if he has one that's not dead. But there's a volcano near here called Mount Rushless, and it's been active lately. So, like all the dirt that you're seeing, it isn't dirt. It's volcanic ash. Something terrible is about to happen. As in, like, all of this extra work is because the volcano is about to erupt. No idea how he explained the fish being there. Hey Doc, jumped in the park warden. You definitely need help. Saw my dream RV at the auctions, all creamy. I wouldn't know whether to drive it or lick it. Fortunately, it sold for a crazy amount, but the dream lives on. We'll deal with the RV later. And so, like, they're hinting at future jobs through every job, like in the story mode. So this game's deep career mode lore is just, oh, it's great. Looks like you're almost done. My girls can't wait to get out there. Yard looks fantastic. Couple budding mountaineers ready climbing that rock garden. Again, great job. If I hear anyone. All right, so we go back to career mode, and now there's three jobs here because it starts branching off after the second job. Every job is relating to the town in some way, shape, or form. So it's great. Yeah, capitalism bad. Like, human beings invented monetary systems as a way to, get above bartering. We need to provide for people and then have jobs for money for the things that are beyond your basic needs. Everyone's basic needs should be taken care of. Everyone should be able to get high as fuck and see God or whatever. And, like, nobody's right about what they see or don't see. Like, everything that exists that's already been written down, read it. Fucking I have. And don't just read what you have. Read everything else. Find what speaks to you. That's what religion is. It's finding what speaks to you. But if you go to church and they're telling you, that abortion is wrong, where in the Bible does it say that? There's a fucking verse in the Old Testament that is, yeah, don't Don't base your politics on what you hear in church. Read the fucking Bible. If you want to believe it, read it. Be responsible for your own faith. Right? Like, I don't get it. I don't get why people have to be so fucking stupid. And the problem is the boomers. The boomers and fucking capitalism. I mean, it's been a long time since, you know, different denominations actively killed each other just for having, you know, being different denominations. It's been like 200 years, 300. And I'm talking about on a mass scale, not like on an. Because, like, most people don't want to go to war over their. Right? Most people do not believe so hard in their religion that they want to kill someone because they're not that. At most, they'll want to convert people to what they believe. But, like, you don't have to believe what they believe. I don't have to believe what I believe. I could give a fuck what you believe. That's up to you. That doesn't affect me what you believe. What you do affects me. Your judgment doesn't affect me. But what you do with that judgment affects me. Actions are the way we manipulate the universe. And think otherwise is stupid. Like, right? It just is. I'm a B. I gotta go. Oh, great! Tentacles! Did that punch just stab you? That's what I'm talking about. I'm gonna fuck you up. And nope. Death. Ow! Yes! The meth is in the fucking photos! Yes! Back off, Joy, and Countess Mishra, you can eat my battle asshole! 2 stabby daddies?
2 stabby daddies.
The old people are burning! The old people are burning! Mud cramp.
God fucking damn it, motherfucker! Fuck!
Old man, look at my feet, I am lacking shoes. Oh, please give me those fast red running boots. Okay, but like, it's just. I don't know, man. People need to be better to each other. Realize that other people's happiness does not hurt them. People should be allowed to find their own happiness. Right? Like, I mean, in the end, my overall philosophy comes from my experience, right? Like, everybody's, beliefs and opinions and feelings on things come from their own personal beliefs and what they've read and how they interpret it. So, unless you change the way you're thinking, you yourself, if you are a problem in this world, if you are causing other people pain by being selfish and greedy, then why are you doing that? Look deep inside yourself and ask, why am I doing this? Why am I hurting other people for my own enjoyment? What is missing in me? That is why I want to do that. Because being human is scary. It is scary as fuck. You're born, you're conscious, you think, you die. Like, and we don't know if there's anything else. So it doesn't matter how hard you believe in there being anything else or, reincarnation, nothing. It's not going to change the fact that you don't know if you're right or wrong. You won't know until you die. So why should anyone follow a religion outside of the social aspect? Right? The communion, as it were. Because if you look at Christianity, which I know of, because I've gone to church and experienced things, and it is one of the more popular religions. I was raised Lutheran, but I've been to Catholic church, been to evangelical church. I've seen people speak in tongues. Like, I've seen and felt those things, right? But in the end, I've always been searching my whole life for what I believe. As a child, I went to Sunday school, but I never really fit in, right? because I was born 4, for one. And, like, I've never gone without. And that's because of my grandma and my great grandma. And that's because of the Great Depression. Like, my great grandma lived through the Depression, so she took care of us. Great grandma took care of all of us. She had her 9 kids. And then when her kids started having kids, she took care of them too. And then she took care of the great grand. So I wouldn't be who I am or where I am without my great grandma. And, like, just she's had gone through much in her. She was a very wise old woman. I mean, and we were 4, right? Like, but we also weren't because we, whether we knew it or not, we were, pooling our resources. Because I don't know how many times my grandma worked extra hours to help my mom financially so she could raise us 3 kids. My grandmother is 70. She'll be 74 in December. And she's only recently gone down to part-time at Walmart as her own. Up until she was 65, she was working 2 full-time 40-hour-a-week jobs. She sacrificed so much so that we, the grandkids, could have a better life, right? And my mom worked, but she was a single parent, and things have only gotten more expensive since I was born in 1980. And they've become more expensive as we've lowered the taxes on the richest of the rich in our country and the world. Billionaires didn't exist when I was born, but they did by the time I was 10. And, like, that affects me as an educated person who is, not of me. So I'll never be taken seriously by, like, philosophical journal or anything, because I've never studied. I don't know the proper way to write outside of what I've learned in school. but I don't have a PhD in philosophy, right? Like, but who needs a PhD in philosophy, right? Aristotle read. That is how you used to learn, is read and be taught by other people who have read. That's how you learned. That's how we learn as human beings. Either taught by someone else, we do it and fuck up until we get it right, or we're taught. And it's just not it's not a problem to me not having that PhD. I know that I've read. I don't need a fucking member of this society, a high society. Just fuck it. No one's ever done what I'm. I don't know if I'll succeed or fail. But if anyone has tried what I've tried before, failed, I don't know. But I do feel like my purpose in life is to be a philosopher. Like my utmost purpose. Because I've always told stories stories that were sometimes factual, sometimes not. Stories that were based on things I saw. Stories that were derivative of video games I played. Like, I would write fan fiction. Always. I wrote fan fiction when I was 5 years old. Or was I 6? I can't remember. So this is my philosophical fanfic. Because I'm taking what I've read and experienced and understand, and I'm trying to boil it down. I'm not trying to create a religion, or I don't give a flying fuck. I don't give a flying fuck if this never sells to anyone but a few close friends of mine. Because right now, this very second, this is free time. This is me time. And this is what I want to do with my time. I'm high as fuck and I'm working on something. Now, what does that tell you about humanity's need to do things? We're not just gonna become lazy and bored and fucking, you know, stop existing and just play video games all day, smoke weed. The only reason why we work is to provide for ourselves. Humans are creative people. If we weren't creative, we wouldn't be where we're at. We need to foster that creativity and intelligence. And now that we have so many people who have the ability to utilize the internet and technology to share their ideas and thoughts with one another, if we can find a way to do that without hurting each other and still provide the services that are needed to continue society, I mean, that's what school really is, isn't it? That's what Mr. Carney was trying to do, Steve. Just turn schools into what they used to be. A way to give a general education to as many people as possible so that they can decide what career they want to take. And school used to be affordable. So an entire generation went to school, like higher learning. But none of them were in my family. But I am the first in my family to have achieved even a modicum of of higher learning. My mother has taken a lot of various courses and classes, various things, but because of what she chose and not being able to go into those fields, it it didn't work. But I don't need to get a PhD in philosophy. I don't need a PhD in, English to write a book. I've written a book. I've self-published a book. I was an English major. I routinely edit and grammatically correct my wife's lesson plans and papers and her freaking everything. So I'm her editor in a way. And I don't get paid for it with money. But we're in a situation right now where, like, I am married to a woman who makes enough for me to, in my spare time. And the key word there is spare time. I have it. I have a lot of it. Call it a midlife crisis. Call it whatever you want. I'm 35, almost 36 years old. And I'm taking my shot. I have been formulating this my whole life. This is literally my life's work. Because it's the one thing I've always done. And tried to expand my horizons. If college were free and I didn't have to work to provide for bills, I would always, or at least I would go to school for periods, right? Like, because I've always read. I was very young. I learned to read. I can't even remember. I can't remember how I learned to read because it's so far back. All I remember is when we were young, Frosty and I had encyclopedia, and we read the shit out of those. I think we read the entirety of those encyclopedias by the time that. Did we understand everything we read? No. But we read it, and we were working our way to understanding it. That was the foundation for my education as a human being. And then, like, all of these, God, at least 30 years since, I've been reading. Like, I can read fast. And I can process fast. Or at least I have been fast as I was growing up. A little bit slower now because I'm 35. But I can still process new information and adapt, acclimate, learn. Speedrunning was part of my learning. Speedrunning helped me learn that I was still able to learn. And learn fast and apply things. And it was something I enjoyed doing. But right now is not the right now is time work on my life. Because if I don't do it now, realistically, I could never. I could be dead tomorrow and have not started. And so, like, I don't have the excuses I've had in the last 3 4 years. I don't have the excuse. I have that is the most valuable thing. Your time worth or anyone could ever pay. I mean, I could still be at work right now, but I work a job where I don't need them, or they don't need me to be there for it. As long as I get what I need to get done, they don't care. No skin off their back if I don't work 8 hours. Oh my god, I'm saving them money. So I have the free time to do that. This is what I wanted to do before. Like, but I didn't know how to do it, right? Or more like, I hadn't attained enlightenment, I guess. Because before I was focused on view, right? Like, I was focused on trying to make money off of Twitch and YouTube. Even if it was just enough money to help me buy another a year. But I've realized that after all this time doing this, that only people who really come around are they're here to chill. They're not here to watch. I mean, yes and no. But it's more of a social experience. Like, especially since I am so far removed physically from everybody else. I'm out in the middle, like an 8 or 10 hour drive for any. I don't have a lot of friends. Like, am I gonna go out with my workers after work? I don't know. I haven't been invited, and like, I haven't been given the okay to invite anybody over here. So like, I do socialize. I mean, Steve knows that we've just had days, literal days, back we're both in college where I would just talk to Steve and Steve talk to me and their ideas and talk about the world. But like, I can never be a teacher. The only way I can teach write something, maybe, even if the only thing my perspective on, because it's worked for people in the past. I mean, this guy Jean-Paul Sartre, he's famous. He was able to live fairly well off of his thoughts and ideas and get high all the time. I think. And he served a function for society. Like, he didn't start doing this until after World War II. Right? Because enlightenment comes, as Maslow said, once your other needs are met. Right? Like, through Maslow's hierarchy, the base level is survival. And like, you can't reach self-actualization and fulfillment and spiritual oneness with the universe until you've climbed that hierarchy. And it's hard to do. It really is. Not everybody can do it because of the way society is structured. And that's unfair. Everyone should be able to reach self-actualization. As long as it doesn't hurt someone else, your self-actualization should be encouraged. Right? Like, I don't believe in polygamy or like having open relationships in a sexual sense. But nothing in what I've gleaned from everything that I've read says that it's morally wrong. I mean, it's not morally wrong if you don't hurt somebody else. There's non-physical ways to hurt other people, yes. But as long as you're not deliberately hurting other people with intent, physically or mentally or emotionally, then what you do is moral. And that's scary thought to some people, because then yeah, doing drugs, as long as you're not hurting anybody else, is ethical. There's nothing wrong with it. Could it possibly hurt yourself? Yes, but that is a choice that you are making. As long as what you are doing is not hurting others, it's moral. Right. Because as addictive as meth is and cocaine are, they're just stimulants. And most people are addicted to caffeine by the time that they're 18. And that's a couple hundred years of truth. Everybody's been addicted to caffeine. And actually, people blame caffeine for the Enlightenment because we switched from a depressant, which is alcohol, as the most popular drug, to a stimulant. You know what else is a stimulant? Nicotine. And in some ways, cannabis is a stimulant, but it's also got psychoactive properties. I mean, I used to smoke cigarettes when I was in, but I was never addicted. See, I would smoke in moderation. And, like, even if I still smoked cigarettes or vaped or whatever, is it really harmful to other people? No. It can be expensive as fuck. But I truly believe that caffeine was the last enlightenment. Cannabis is the, because it's a proven safe. I mean, that is something that you are doing to try and improve yourself, Steve. You have identified a problem in an addiction and are trying to overcome it. Even if the reasons aren't necessarily because you believe that what you're doing is wrong, you're doing it for financial gain, as in to spend less money on it. Poverty is a bitch. And a cycle. And it's a cycle that doesn't need. Because I've been in and near poverty so much that I can see that the world can provide. You just need to, reallocate what costs money and what doesn't. Right? Like, medicine shouldn't cost money. Things that you need to live should not cost money. Education should not cost money. Money should be used for extra things. Money should be used for things like my new computer. Or for Netflix. Or for a new shirt off Amazon. That's my wife. I'll catch y'all later.